Hi, Jewish Mom. So I want to talk with you this week again some more about my neighbor Sarah Balulu. I wrote about her last week and talked about her in my pep talk. She was named Mishpacha Magazine's Eshet Chayil of the Year, Woman of Valor of the Year, for this past year. So I wanted to talk some more about her. I've been thinking about Sarah Balulu and about her story. If you missed it, so Sarah Balulu has a daughter who has a I hope now benign growth in her abdomen, but it was when she was maybe I think 6 years old. They discovered a large cancerous growth in her abdomen, and so Sarah Balulu responded to that by trying to find something that would help her to connect with the sweetness of life. And that for her is chocolate making. She loves chocolate, she loves making chocolate, she loves eating chocolate, she loves preparing chocolate for her family. And she started like a small company. And she makes chocolates and sells them on Fridays. So I heard a beautiful vort about from my mutual friend, the person who's the friend of Sarah Balulu and me, our common friend. She was talking about the power of the Jewish woman and what an Eshet Chayil is, what a woman of valor is. And she said that in Eshet Chayil we read the words Rachok mipnini michra, more precious than pearls. Okay. So my friend asked, what is a pearl? So how is a pearl created? So sand enters an oyster and causes aggravation, and out of all of that the sand that aggravates the oyster, then a pearl is created. And this is the Eshet Chayil. This is the Jewish woman, the woman who, the person who has, we have challenges in our lives, and out of that we create a pearl, and that's the true meaning of an Eshet Chayil. So I've been thinking the whole week about Mishpacha's decision to choose Sarah Balulu. Out of all of the women that they could have chosen in Israel, all the women going through different challenges, and all the women's different responses to their challenges, and that they dafka chose Sarah Balulu, whose daughter is very sick, and she decided to make chocolate. Okay, it's a bit of a, and so when I was thinking about it, I was thinking, what would be the more intuitive choice, the more obvious choice would have been a woman whose child is sick, or is going through a big challenge, nisayon, and they decided to start an organization to help children with cancer, or someone who's in a nisayon, a challenge, and they decided, okay, we're going to be saying, we're going to have a Tehillim chain for all across Israel, that thousands of women will be saying Tehillim in response to all the challenges facing the Jewish people, or someone who decided to start a weekly Torah class, or someone who decided to pray at all these different holy spots in Israel, different holy spiritual responses that are possible to a nisayon. What I think is interesting is that Mishpacha and their judges, who you saw maybe in the video, including Rabbi Yemima Mizrahi, and also Chani Weinrot. If you live in Israel, you probably heard of Chani Weinrot also. She's a kind of famous person. So basically, these very distinguished people decided to choose the women who had a nisayon and chose to make chocolate. And I don't think that this is stam. I don't think that this is for just whatever coincidental. I think that it's very telling. That the response that the Sarah Balulu's Eshet Chayil response was something that's so what Rabbi Niven would call lower soul. It's something that just brings immediate pleasure, eating chocolate, or making chocolate, or giving chocolate. It's an immediate pleasure. It's not like something like that you found an organization for other children with cancer, and then you get a certain kind of satisfaction from that, having done the right thing. This is just physical pleasure, eating chocolate, and connecting with the sweetness in life through that. And I thought that was like, I've been writing this week. I wrote an article about moon pies. If you didn't read it yet, the moon pie dance. About how in my life I'm trying to find more of a balance between higher soul and lower soul. When people are very, very higher soul, like very, very into like, oh, I'm serving God and I'm praying and I'm being a Jewish mother and I'm rebuilding the Jewish people through my children and through spreading Torah and learning Torah. Very, very higher soul. What often can happen is people get burnt out when we don't pay attention to our lower soul. Lower soul's like your immediate pleasures. And for different people it can be different things. For one woman it can be, getting a massage or getting a manicure or sitting down at a cafe and reading her favorite magazine, or going to the gym. Somebody could be, or watching reruns of I Love Lucy, whatever it is. Different things. Different people have different things that bring them pleasure, like Sarah Balulu's chocolate. And I think that's very I love this idea that Mishpacha magazine chose the woman who responded to her huge nisayon by making chocolate, by feeding her lower soul, because we need that too. We also need our lower souls. I was walking around. I started on Shabbat going on a long walk, and I walked through another religious neighborhood. I was looking at the mothers I passed, specifically young mothers. I didn't ask this, but it happened to me. I was passing young mothers of young children, and they just look so worn out. And I understand it. I understand, probably if someone saw me with my kids, they'd also say, "Oh, I look worn out too." But I think that just looking at them and just thinking, wow, these women need to be feeding. They're very, very, I see women very, very whole, higher soul life. I'm taking care of my home, taking care of my husband, my children, Jewish home, raising them to be holy Jews, keeping mitzvot, very, very higher soul. But where is their lower soul? What are they doing things for themselves to bring themselves pleasure? And just seeing how hungry they are. How hungry they are. Maybe they don't feel it, but I see it. How hungry they are for lower soul pleasures. Laura Doyle, the author of that I told you about, of the surrendered wife, she says we should be doing 3 things a day to bring ourselves pleasure. And I think that probably if I asked these women, the women that I saw, these very very worn out women that I noticed on my Shabbat walk this morning, I'd say, could you do 3 things to bring yourself pleasure today? Go to the gym, get a manicure, and sit down and read a chapter of your favorite book. Could you do that? And they're like, there's no way. Between everything I'm doing, But I think that if we make it a priority. If we could make it a priority, these are women who I'm sure who daven every day. These are women who take time to to make food every day, to sleep at night every day. They make we make priority. We make time for our priorities. If that could be a priority for all of us, 3 pleasures a day, okay? I just think it's crucial. And I think that Rabbi Imima and the rest of the judges, I think that they recognize that in the Sarah Balulu story. It's this is someone who's going through Nisayon. The Eshet Chayil, someone who eats chocolate, makes chocolate, loves chocolate, connects with chocolate. Kol hakavod. You're the Eshet Chayil of the year because you're also, in addition to your higher soul, you're feeding your lower soul, and we need that. Okay. Just another example. I have another friend. Mother of a large family, a lot of little kids. She comes from a very cultured background, grew up in Paris, very whatever. And so now what does she do? She takes herself out. Occasionally, she takes herself out to, there's a restaurant in Jerusalem where they play live music. And she goes there. She buys herself, at the end of a long day, she goes there, and long week. She goes there, she buys herself a meal, she sits down, she reads a book, and she listens to this live music. It's just, for her, it's feeding her lower soul. It's the basic of what she needs, Okay, so in conclusion, I was talking about Rechok mipnei michra. Who is the Eshet Chayil? The person it's a woman who's more precious than pearls. So why are we compared to pearls? Because just as a pearl is created by the sand that aggravates the oyster, so too we in our lives we're aggravated by the nisyonot, we're aggravated by various challenges. And what pearl are we creating? So I think it's so telling. I love that Mishpacha magazine chose that for the Eshet Chayil of the year, the woman whose pearl is chocolate, eating chocolate, creating chocolate, doing this kind of lower soul thing, this thing that gives her immediate pleasure, chocolate. Okay, it's so important in life. In order to and in order to not get burnt out, is to not only feed our higher souls, like our, our idealism and our spirituality, and feeding our minds and our souls, but also, I'm sorry, I should say myself, feeding like our spirituality, and being spiritual, learning Torah, and going to classes, and reading and learning, and doing mitzvot, and doing chesed, da-da-da. Okay, that's great. But you also do something that gives you immediate pleasure for yourself. 3 things that give you pleasure a day. That's my prescription for you, for every mom watching us. 3 things that give you pleasure a day. And so on that note, I want to bless all of your Jewish moms with an amazing week. Kol Tov.